Hello students, so in the previous video we have seen some different types of special operators like between, all clause, distinct, in clause, like that. So today we shall see the use of like clause. So how do we use this like clause in the SQL queries, right? So before that, let's see the table that we have created. So this is the teacher table. So in that you can see that two salary rows are null, which we have inserted like that in the previous video. So now how do we use the like clause, or what is the like clause? Now the like clause operator, it is used whenever we have to search the data values from the SQL table that is based on character values or variable character values. So it is only associated with the character or variable character data values. Okay, so uh, it can be that is related. So when we have to use the like clause operator, we use two wildcards character. So that is the percentage symbol and the uh, underscore symbol. All right. So now, what is the percentage symbol used for? The percentage symbol is used to represent any number of characters after. So when we use the percentage symbol in the SQL query, it can represent uh, any number of characters. When we use the underscore, that means in between the string, it is used to represent a single character. All right. So suppose like we have to in the table see that we cannot use the like clause with, suppose, like this salary column. All right, because it has only number data. So we can use the most likely we can use the like clause with this the t name. So like suppose we have to find the uh, teacher's detail whose name starts with s, whose name starts with s. So select star from teacher, then this is how we write, where t name, we have to mention the column name t name, and then here we write like, and since we have to find character or variable character values, so we enclose it within single quotation. So like, and then s. So here also you have to be careful that the s, how you have entered in the tables. As you can see that all the starting alphabets, the starting letters are in uppercase, so you have to be careful checking that. So here you have to mark it as capital S. Now, so let's say that we do not know the names that are entered in the table, right? So we just have to find out, suppose like those teachers whose name starts with S. So how do we use the wildcard characters? Like I said, that the underscore symbol, that is this one, represents one single character. So this one single character, it can be any letters. It may be A, E, it may be B, it may be C, like that. But when we use this percentage symbol, when we use the percentage symbol, this represents any number of characters. It may be two characters, it may be three characters, it may be one, it may be 10 characters. So since we do not know what the number of letters or number of alphabets after S, so that's why we use this percentage symbol. All right. So if we do like this and we run this, so you can see that those teachers whose name starts with S is displayed. Right. Now let's say that there is a condition. How do we use the underscore wildcard character? Now let's say that there is this Sangita Singh. So now the query is, suppose like, um, write a query to display the teacher's detail whose name starts with S, and then second alphabet is N, second alphabet is N, and then ends with H, right? So in that case we can use the underscore character. So since the second no sorry since the third alphabet is N, so that is we use one underscore to represent the unknown second alphabet or the unknown second letter, and then we write here N. So here the after the starting alphabet, the rest of the alphabets are in lowercase, right? So that's why here I wrote N in lowercase. Now this underscore represents one single character, one single alphabet. So since the question was like the query to display the teacher's detail whose first name starts with S and third name starts with N, so that's why here in between S and N the second alphabet is represented by this underscore, and then after that the last alphabet ends with H, right? The last alphabet ends with H. So after N we do not know how many characters are there. It may be just one single alphabet, it may be two alphabets. So for that purpose we use this percentage symbol, but what we know is that the last alphabet will be H, so that ends with H, right? So here it is S underscore N percentage H. So when we run this we get the correct output, Sangita Singh, right? So this is how we use the wildcard characters, right? So likewise there will be lots of questions based on that like clause. It may be we may have to use both the wildcard characters, we may have to use only one of the wildcard characters in the query, right? Now likewise we have already seen the not operator, uh, the not logical operator. It is that not that the not operator, that particular logical operator will be used only with the logical and logical or, but it can be used with other operators also. Like with the null operators, it can be used with the in operators. Alright. So depending on the query question, you have to understand where to use and what not to use. Now, next we have is the column alias. Right. So so what is this column alias? Now as you can see that this is the column names that we have created for the teachers table. So as you can see that some of the column names are in written in like short form. So it may be that in some cases some of the column names may not be understood properly by some of the users, like T number or say like DOJ. So some may not understand what is DOJ. So when while performing the query, in order to make say like, because it may be that you may display only this particular column and this particular column in the query, right? So suppose like T number. So it may not be able to understand what is T number because it just comes out these values, right? So in such cases, when we use column alias, we give a proper descriptive description about the column name. So whenever we have to use the column alias, we use another clause called as AS, ask clause, right? So and the name which we want to give for that particular column is enclosed in single quote in some softwares, and in some softwares we use the double quotation. Now column alias, it is also just temporary, so it does not affect the original table. You have to keep that in mind. All right. So some of the column names, it may be that there may be spaces in between. So like in this case we are using the underscore, so it has to be enclosed in double quotation. So like suppose like if we want to expand this T number and T name, all right? So how do we write down using the column alias? So we write down select T number, right? t number, and then we write here as, and then in double quotation, suppose teacher, and then we use underscore, and then number, and then t name as teacher name. So here what we do is that we give a proper description about of that particular column, t number and t name, as teacher underscore number and teacher underscore name. So when we run this, you can see that there is a proper description for that particular column field. So then we get a much better understanding about that. But this does not reflect, this does not make changes to the original table, because if we see the original table, then you can see that select star from teacher, so the original table is still t number and t name. Okay, so that is how we use the column alias. Okay, so next we have is the concatenation operator. Now as you will see that most the SQL queries are actually very much simple. You can say like the keywords are very much simple, right? So the practical methods that I'm showing, that is, you can see that you can understand very easily, and it is actually quite easy to do it. So you might think that is very easy, and then you might want to skip it. You might want to do it at a later date, but keep in mind that though it is very simple, it is easily forgettable, right? Even so because there are lots of keywords associated, and depends on the query questions, you will get confused which operators to use, which clause to use, right? So not only the students, teachers also sometimes face problem in doing these queries. All right, so you have to be daily updated on these SQL queries, keywords and such. All right, very easy, but very easy to get mixed up. All right, so now next one is we have is the concatenation operator. So as the word, we have already seen what the word concatenation in, we have seen that in function. So in string manipulation function, if you remember, so what we do is that when we do concatenation, we are actually combining two columns data, and then combining it two columns data, and then making the column as a single column name, right? So we can do that using the concatenation operator. For that, we use the concatenation symbol, or in this case we use the or operator symbol, that is that two parallel lines, right? Now suppose like here we have to concatenate, we need to combine the teacher number and teacher name. So in that case, what we can do is that here we write teacher number, right? Here we write teacher number, and then we use this symbol, the two parallel lines that represents the concatenation, or in the or operator, and then we write here t name, and then we use the as clause, and then here in between we write down, say, teachers. So this shows that we are combining this and this, and then the combination of this, the name will be, that column name will be teachers. So when we run this, you can see that here both the datas are combined, but the column name is just one column name, that is teachers. Right, now keep in mind that this also does not affect the original table. So as you can see that the origin table is still unhindered. Like I said, that the string, the select keyword, it does not do manipulation, or does not make changes on the original table, right? It just displays the table data contents. Okay, so today's video practice will be till this much. In the next video session, we will see some other commands such as like update and group functions and so on, right? So practice on these queries, and then yeah, as much as possible, you keep practicing on these SQL queries. Surely, one or two table is going to come. All right.